Okay.
What would you say was your favorite celeb?
I think bar none, I'll always say my favorite celeb. It's kind of a toss up between Melissa McCarthy and
Mm,
Donald Glover. They were both wonderful. She had a lifetime supply to a chocolate company and doesn't like chocolate. So literally every week, she would give everyone chocolate, which is like, what could be better than that? And she was just wonderful and so gracious. And then Donald Glover made his own coffee, and I think that for me is like, as an assistant, that was like, I hated making coffee for people because I'm not
yeah,
a fucking barista.
yeah.
People would be like, it's cold and I want half calf. I'm like, bitch, like it's a office. Like, do you want a coffee or a coffee with milk? Like, give me a break. So he was just wonderful, like absolutely wonderful.
How many of these campaigns, just to kind of peel back the curtain for a little bit, for people that aren't in Hollywood or in the entertainment world? Because like for me, I know that like Us Weekly does What's in My Bag, and those are all product placements, like all of these things that we see celebs, they're just like us. Like a lot of that is very staged. What would you say is like the biggest or most staged thing you orchestrated as a publicist that was to make people think was actually real and genuine? Like Melissa McCarthy
Um,
doing an endorsement and not eating chocolate.
there was a lot of those. Um, and I'm trying to remember all the NDAs I've signed. But yeah, no, the biggest one that I thought was like so just phony was we did a gifting suite for the Grammys, and there was a bunch of the cast members from 90210, like the reboot.
Yeah.
And we had them all like walk out and kind of like walk in the street as if they're like going to get coffee. And then we like snap them with the bags. And it's like, first of all, why would you be going to grab coffee with a bunch of big bags that say like the brand name on it? But they ended up in Us Weekly, and people were like, oh, stars are just like us. They carry their own bags. I was like, oh my God. But like, and it's like a lot of that stuff is so funny because it's so orchestrated. And I worked with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. There was a lot of like, because in 2007, when I came to LA, I came in 2004. When I started working in this town, there was no social media. Like Netflix was a subscription that they would send you
Oh, the
DVDs, believe it or
DVDs
not.
in the mail, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, honey. That people that don't know what DVDs are, Google it. And so literally, I was like, we kind of invented this world. We would become friends with paparazzi. We tell them where they were. And I remember in the back alley at Kitson, where Beverly Beach was such a big deal. That store, even though people made fun of that store in like 2004 was like better than Barney's.
Yeah.
Like it was like every
The
celebrity
shop.
went there, and it was like hard to get in. I mean, it was just such a thing. So we had Paris Hilton in the back alleyway, and they were kind of, the paparazzi blockaded her in. And it was such an iconic moment because I remember her being like, just leave me alone. And that was like really iconic for Paris Hilton, that like paparazzi kind of blocking you in moment. That was very 2005.
How often are celebs or are the publicists tipping off paparazzi for celebs?
Well, it depends on the client, right? Certain clients like don't want it, and then certain clients like want it. They're like, let them know I'm going to be here. And it's so funny because those clients always overdo it because they're like, just leave me alone, let me be real. And it's like, just like, if you're gonna say you want people to like catch you, just own it. Like,
Just
you know,
play,
I like
yeah.
those play into it. Like, just play into it. And there's celebrities that like really like the limelight, and they want, like, I remember, what's her name? Gretchen, like, liked it. Like, she, OC Housewives, she wanted that. She wanted to be photographed. Like, so when people enjoy it, I'm like, okay, then tip them off. Like, that's great.
And what does tipping them off look like? Like, is it the publicist actually calling Harvey Levin? Like, no. Like, what is tipping them off? Like, do you have contacts at certain outlets or certain photographers?
We were very like, do it by the seat of your pants. So we knew like we had the numbers for these paparazzis. And if you don't know, a lot of paparazzis are like, they're like really shady people. Some of them are drug dealers. But like, once you get in good with them, like I was friends with this, like, she was like one of the only women that was part of the paparazzi crew. And I was friends with her, and she would tell me, oh, she's like, okay, Deman Johansu's at El Paseo. Like, do you want me to take a photo of him? You work with his manager. Like, or she'd like tell me, like, do you want me to, like, she was like, kind of gave me a moment to kind of say no. Cause some of these people didn't want their privacy out. They're like, they because it was more work for me to then have to go and tell Us Weekly, like, you need to remove that, or like, don't put that up, or like, that's more work, right? So tipping it off really looks like essentially either calling them, or initially before we'd also do like emails. And there was one guy that actually ran all the, this is like really like behind the curtain. he ran about like 150 paparazzis across LA. And he actually is now Kim Kardashian's social media manager. So you would call him, like my boss would call him, and then tell your paparazzis, like, our client's going to Westwood to have dinner, like, don't photograph them, like, leave them alone, or photograph them.
Yeah.
It was like, follow them, like, get in the car. And you know those moments where celebrities are like at a Halloween party, like, just leave me alone, and they're sitting in their car. Honey, why are you sitting in your car, Lindsay Lohan, with what was his name? Wilmer Valderrama.
Yeah.
Like, why are you, drive away? Like, you're sitting in the car covering yourself. Like, you want to be photographed, you know?
What do you think of accounts like, what is it, Demois, that now have like report on all of these celebrity sightings? Do you think that that's like a new era of paparazzi? And do you think our publicists in there not spilling tea, but like creating the narrative for their clients?
I mean, it's possible, but tell me what that is. Like, I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it.
It's this, it's an account that like reports on where I guess people can anonymously submit, oh, I just saw Paris Hilton having lunch here, or, oh, here's some tea on, you know, this situation, you know, this, what really happened, why this housewife got fired. This is what I heard because I work for this agency. But it's mostly like anonymous people spilling tea and dirt and celebrity sightings when they're out.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, celebrity publicists have their own like website, and you have to pay like $1,500 a month. And they do that where they have sightings and they tell you like guest lists. So like, it'll be like, oh, like, let's say Grammy's after party. Here's a confirmed guest list. So like, if you're a publicist, you're seeing that, you're like, oh, I want to get my client into that because let's say a producer's there, or Quincy Jones is there, or Beyonce is going to be there. Like, so publicists have their own kind of network that they use. It's similar to that. I mean, this is more like kind of off the street. The problem with websites like that, we had that with Perez too, like sightings, there's no way to like confirm it. And by the time you read that, the person has already left the lunch place.
Yeah.
So we would become friends with waiters. We knew waiters, we knew like wait staff, we knew bus boys, we knew valets. Like, valets will tell you everything back in the day. I mean, now celebrities post like, I'm at a restaurant, like you can go follow them. Like, especially TikTokers, like you can see exactly where they are. If you want to see Addison Rae, like she'll tell you, okay, she's going to be at this restaurant. And they're like, they want the attention, so they only go to Saddle Ranch. Like, they want the attention.
Yeah. Who the fuck goes to Saddle Ranch?
That's what Ariana Grande said, and they all came for her.
Oh, shit.
Trying to use her to get clout. I'm like, Ariana Grande has no idea who you are, Bryce Hall, Addison Rae. Like, she don't care about you. She has triple the amount of followers you do. She could care less. Like,
yeah.
What?
What do you think is going to happen to all these TikTokers in 10 years? I mean, obviously you're kind of in that world, but you, I think, have, like, for me, I have a much bigger awareness of what I want my career longevity to be. So when I see some of these little social media people that pop up and they're hot for a second and they really put all their eggs in that one basket, like, for me, I'm like, slow and steady will win the race. I don't need to be super hot in this 1 second. You know, I want to make sure I have a career that lasts.
Amen. Amen. It's a really good question. I mean, it's something that they all had to question. And there was a bunch of memes that went around where it was like, Noah Beck working the McDonald's drive-thru, because like, remember when they were going to say that TikTok was going to be like,
yeah, Trump
was like, I'm going to close it down. A lot of people were like, what am I going to do with my life? And I think it's important that you have something outside of it. Like, I have a friend who has like 5 million followers, and I did a hosting class with her, and she's very smart. She does comedy, and there's a lot. She's not just doing the dances. Like, there's something beyond it. Like, she can take that to YouTube or whatever. So I think it's important for me. I want to have my own talk show. So for me, everything I talk about is part of it's like humor and fun, but a lot of it's like, I want to help people understand different spectrums and sexualities, and, you know, being a queer Muslim, like, I want to be very open about stuff like that. So I'm not, initially I started Zack dancing around, and I was like, girl, I hurt my back. I had to ice my back. I can't do bougie, ratchet. Like, I'm not doing those dances. I'm not wearing gray sweatpants. I'm not doing any of it, because it's not authentic to me. And a lot of people were like, you're being creepy. And it's not, like, you're so old, because a lot of my followers are like 15. So they
I know, they're
to,
so
like,
young.
yeah,
that like
so young.
I'm just like, I'm 27. That's not old. Brandy Glanville thinks I'm 12. And they're like, who the fuck is Brandy Glanville? I'm like, bye.
Exactly. I posted stuff about like Bravo people, and they're like, who are these people? And it's funny, I posted a video about the D'Amelios and all that drama, and people are loving it because that's the demographic, even though I don't really care about that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Least favorite celeb that you've ever worked with? Aside
I mean,
from
like
Erica Jane.
So much. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna think of someone other than Erica Jane, because I feel like I'm always like throwing her under.
You're always coming for Erica.
I know, but I
Well,
kind of gave it up, Zach. I don't know if I'm just like growing kinder these days, but I think after the divorce and just her trying to figure her life out, I was like, you know what? Maybe she had a really bad day. I mean, it was one day.
what did you think
Just let it
about
go.
the Scooter Braun rumors with her? Did you
I
hear
mean,
them?
I did.
And
I
what were
did. I
your
actually,
thoughts?
I mean, Scooter's looking good. I'm not gonna lie. That one video of him shirtless, I mean,
I'd
he's
hit
looking
it.
good. But he's married. Like, this is not the first time these rumors have come out. But again, and I'm not saying this has anything to do with your personal life, but I've always been a huge proponent of the way that you act in business reflects how you are as a person.
Yeah.
So the way that he took Taylor Swift's masters and sold them
Yeah.
twice doesn't say
Sketchy.
a lot about loyalty, and he's a bit sketchy. And there's not a lot about, and just because you built Justin Bieber, I know a lot of sketchy people in this town who have made Michael B. Jordan, who have made Melissa McCartney, that are shady people. They're not good people. It doesn't mean just because a celebrity the Ellen DeGeneres, like, look what happened to her, all that exposing of all, just because someone seems kind and nice on TV does not translate to real life. Like, and I think that when you asked about like least favorite celebrity, I think there was this actress from Prometheus. She was like one of the stars of that movie that came out and was doing really well. And she was a nightmare, would wear sunglasses and a boa and like was so rude to waiters and Uber drivers. And I see that a lot with celebrities. They get to a point where they have a yacht or they have millions and they start treating people less than. And I'm like, honey, like, remember Beth Frankel was selling cookies at a like one-stop
Albertsons.
shop gourmet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you never know where people are going to end up. And I think I don't know, I'm just such a fan of being kinder to people because these people didn't know that I would end up with a platform to like talk shit about them. They thought I was just a $10 an hour assistant to like get my valet, and grab my bags and take that away and wash my dishes. Like, people really underestimate. And listen, I have an MBA, I have degrees. I'm like Wendy from Potomac. I got degrees, honey. Like, you underestimate people because they're working at a lower position. That's really fucked up.
I agree. So who? Oh, you gave me your least favorite celeb. What about the celeb you were most surprised by? Good or bad?
Most surprised by. Okay, I have two quick ones. So I did a dinner party for Rachel Zoe that I planned, and she was actually wonderful. Like, I don't know why I've always liked her, but I kind of assumed she'd be difficult. She was like really wonderful. She was so easy, and like I remember there was like some potted plant was like leaking, and people were freaking out. Rachel Zoe's gonna see it, and she came and she's like, just put a towel on it, like, it's fine. Like, chill out. Like, and she was just wonderful. And I mean, nobody ate at the whole thing. It was all these like models, and they were all so pretty. Nobody ate, but I was eating all the food in the back. But she was wonderful. And then Jamie King really threw me for a loop. She wanted like 3 or 4 gift bags. I was like, girl, like, and they were expensive, like $150 colognes from Joe Malone. And I was like, I can give you 2. And she was like, really not feeling me. She was like, oh my God, you have so many rules at this party. And I was like, why do you want 4 of them? Like,
Remind me who Jamie King is.
She was in oh God, what has she been in? I think she was in Kill Bill. She was like that. If you saw her,
I know the name.
She was in that show.
I'm gonna look her up.
Do you remember the show that Rachel Bilson did where it was like in the middle of nowhere? It was like she was a vet or something. She was dating a vet. Remember that show?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. So I know. Yeah. She's exactly who I thought that she was.
Yeah.
She was. I remember her from White Chicks. That's where I.
Oh, that's what it is. That's her big movie. Yes, not Kill Bill. I don't know why I said Kill Bill.
That's her big movie from 2004.
But she was just not feeling me with the rules. And then one quick one, Ted Sarandos he's like the CEO of Netflix, came to an event, and people were fighting over gift bags. Like, these ladies were literally fighting over gift bags. And he was like, you can give them mine. Like, of course he's a billionaire, so probably doesn't care about the gift bag.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was so gracious that like he had picked one for his wife and was just willing to kind of give it over to some people that were literally fighting over $100 Tiffany & Co. keychain. I was like, guys, like, chill out. It was crazy, but that's my life. That was my life. A lot of the time was people fighting over nothing, and then getting into a Bentley, and I'm getting paid $10 an hour. I was like, this is bizarre, but okay.
Last one, a celeb you'd love to fuck.
Oh my God, you're naughty. I mean, if I said Michael B. Jordan, everyone would freak out. I'm not going to say that. I think for me, that's a great question. You know what? I like someone down and dirty, someone that's going to really kind of do the work. And
like really toss your salad.
Yeah, really get in there and just like really do the work. I think Tom Hardy would do it. Like I think he would get down and dirty. There'd be a lot on that beard. Yeah, I think yeah, I would be down with that. I would be down with that. Now I can't think about anything but
Oh my God.
that.
Oh my God. Thank you, Amir. Where can people follow you and get your TikTok videos?
Amir Yass official on Instagram and TikTok, and then Twitter it's Amir Yass tweets, and then on YouTube it's Amir Yassai, Yassai.
I
Trying
love
to
it.
YouTube thing.
What do
It's a
you
lot of work.
do? You have any other projects or videos or anything that you have that we can look forward to?
Oh my god, that's a great question.
Another
Not
degree,
anything.
maybe, to compete with Dr. Wendy?
I'm gonna try to compete with Dr. Wendy, honey. No, I mean I've been really trying to really push me getting on Shaws of Sunset. So I was DMing with
Mm.
Nima from Shaws, and he later took this down, but he did comment on my TikTok saying he tagged Mercedes and said, "Let's replace him with you know who," and I'm assuming that's Reza. So I don't
Ooh.
know. We'll see. And then Mike deleted his account. I know Mike and I know Shervin. Mike deleted his whole Instagram. So I don't know if that's like he's not coming back. What's going on? So I don't know. I'm like, I'm happy to jump in there and bring a little drama. I'm down with that.
That would be really fun. I would love to see
I
that.
know. I know. Well, we'll see. Fingers crossed. The Shaw's producer I submitted, Heather McDonald did on my behalf. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
We shall see.